We've got Wade from Team Hobie Razor Edge, who finished third place in Friday's second round of the QTS. Wade, congratulations on a great result.
Thank you.
Now, before we actually get into your day on Friday, you missed the first round, but you missed it for a very good reason. You were down in Tassie. Hobie combined with ABT, and they ran a Tassie tour, and they ran 2 kayak rounds and 2 boater events, and you went down and fished the 2 kayak rounds. One was on Little Swan Port from memory, and also, where was the second round? The Swan?
Little Swan, Swan River, yeah.
Yeah. I would love to hear about that experience for you, how that went down there.
Yeah, the experience to fish the Hobie round down in Tasmania was, it's only once every 2 years, and this is the second time they've ever done it. And to be part of it was just absolutely mind-blowing, really.
And how did you go? How did you go transitioning from fishing for the yellow bream up here, which obviously we target every other time we go fishing, to the blacks? Now they're very different, and obviously respond differently, but also they're big.
Yes, yeah. The average size down there is about 35 fork, and for the Gold Coast, that's quite a good size fish. But yeah, it's every time I've heard something about black brim, it's always, if you're going slow it down. And at this time of year, the fish was still right up on the flats. So just crankbaiting and rolling plastics along the flats, and then, twitching and pausing, and sort of that's what got the bites. But at Little Swan Port, we found a big school of fish that were actually quite deep, 4.5 meters, and that school was maybe 20 meters round, and they were there for the whole 3 days.
Nice. So you're on fish and obviously to pull them out, and there were some really good bags. I think I didn't see all the results, but I know there were several bags where the average weight per bag, so a 6 limit for 2 days, well over 6 kilos. Talking about Hobie and the kayaking, because it's just a bit of a different spin, and hopefully some people might like to get involved in that, and they can do that through the Hobie series. And you qualified for the Australian Championships last year at Foster. You had a third place. They're on the Gold Coast in July. Tell us a little bit about that event.
So the Australian Championships is coming back to the Gold Coast, and from what I know, there's going to be 50 anglers, and Hobie will supply all the kayaks, all the fishing gear except rods and your lures. So, they'll give you pretty well a brand new kayak, brand new sounders, brand new live well. They'll supply the lot, and you just get your butt there and give it a crack.
So on to Friday's event. Third place, your bag, you got second place in the prop option. Your bag went just over 3 kilos, 3.01 kilos, 171 centimetres. Tell us about your day, how it panned out, and how you compiled that limit.
First, we went to the Jacob's Well. It's the Spit there, and we fished the rock wall from the very tip of it down towards Wave Break Island. But it got pretty choppy, and there was a bit of a washing machine in there, so we sort of only spent, say, half an hour of the morning there, and then we moved and actually fished the rock wall at Wave Break. But we I think we got 2 fish first up, or Jordan did, using the Razor's Edge. The Bruce is what it's called, and it's just It's more like a critter sort of gulp crabby style sort of lure.
Creature bait type presentation?
Yeah, that's right, creature bait. And then, and he fished that up on the rock wall, and then also a wave break on a rock wall as well. And we were it was deep. The water that was there was quite clear, but it was still running in. The current was there, and it was hard to stay on one spot. So we just sort of drifted with it, and we picked up 4 fish off that wall, and one of them went 38.
Which was your big fish for the bag? So that was that absolute cracker.
Yeah, it was good to get it early. We were hoping we could stay there and get a few more, but sort of we got our bag there, and the 38 was our kicker, and they sort of just come off the chew there for a while. So then we moved down to Nerang River, fished around Sundale Bridge there, and didn't really get anything, but it had already been fished by a few other boats.
Yep.
So then we just headed up and started fishing the main run of the Nerang River, starting technically at the bridge. And, we just fished pontoons and got a few deep, and then Jordan started throwing at the walls.
Yeah.
Which is normally what we don't even bother doing. You know, it was just a bit of a gap between pontoons. So he put a few casts out, and he actually got a fish on the first cast and knocked around with that in the boat for a little while. And then as soon as he threw back in again, we were at the next sort of gap in the pontoons and snagged another one. Yeah. And sort of that was the rest of the pattern for the day. Didn't really fish the pontoons much, but just fish the walls.
And it's interesting how that can happen sometimes. Sometimes you just go, I'll put a cast out there or do this, and all of a sudden, bang, you're like, oh, hang on, they're sitting here or doing that, and it can lead you into a really good day. So, yeah, good stuff, and working that out, and obviously a solid result. It gives you really good points. Now, when you look at the team of this series, points out you're sitting way down, but you're only 1 round in, so for you guys, so you can. I'm sure as you move forward, we'll consolidate those results, and I'm sure you'll move up that leaderboard.
Yeah, it's good being able to run those 7 rounds and be able to drop a couple if you get a bad result. It's sort of, you might start slow at the beginning of the year, but as the year goes on, certain people can't make certain rounds, and it sort of mixes it up a bit. So you could go from not being in contention to being right up there.
Exactly, and I guess the other thing with that is, we all have different strengths. Some people love the winter bite and fish really well deep, and and others don't like that. They do a bit on so a little bit of they make a bit of hay while the sun shines, while they're in their favourite element, and then they might struggle over winter, but then they'll come good in the later rounds, and so so it's always that sort of round 5 and round 6 when the leaderboard sort of really takes shape and we start dropping rounds and stuff like that. So it's quite exciting seeing how that all unfolds as we go along. So but I'm sure you guys will be ultra competitive. You've always been sort of at the pointy end in the series. I think this is your 3rd year fishing with us, so we really appreciate that. So
the first year was good. Come home 2nd overall. And the 2nd year, I had a new partner, and we're sort of working each other out and trying to find our weaknesses and our strong points. So we didn't quite get the result that we would have hoped to got. And this year we're swinging for the top base.
That's it, and that can happen sometimes too. It can take a little while for teams to gel and sort of work that out and that. But then once you sort of find that, then you'll find that you really complement each other, and trust and confidence, all that kind of thing comes with that as well. So good stuff. So to finish up, I just want to give the opportunity to give a shout out to any sponsors that you have and anyone you want to say thanks to.
So I've got to thank Hobie to start with. They do a lot for me, just keeping my kayak serviced and keeping all my products up to date. I got Sharp Point Jig Heads. He looks after me with all my jig heads and a few of my bass hard bodies and that. Mercury as well. Mike's Marine at Capella Bar. He's our local guy who services my boat. he looked after me with my new Mercury on my tinny, and also he's now servicing my little bass boat that I got.
Yeah, nice.
And this year I've also got Queensland Trail Spares.
Yep.
Chris
Yep.
Fisher, yeah, he's jumped on board for the Team Apex and I. And he's going to keep our trailers and all that going for us and keep us up to date and keep us on the road so we can travel.
Awesome. Well, I thank you for your time, and like I said before, really appreciate your support of this series, and congratulations on a fantastic result, and we look forward to seeing you round 3 on 7th of May.
Yep, thank you. I'll definitely be there and can't wait.